Fantastic to be here with so many opponents of what's being proposed by the New South Wales state government, and to be here with so many real voices, real workers and real worker representatives. Today we're holding a Senate inquiry into the asset recycling bill and the proposal by the Baird government to flog off the New South Wales state electricity assets. Particularly, I want to thank Jacqui for coming up here from Tasmania. She's been a strong opponent to asset privatisation in the past, and she'll be making a few comments about the federal government's asset recycling bill. But I do want to say this: Mike Baird is a coward for refusing to show up at the inquiry today. Not only is he a coward for not showing up, he's a coward for saying to the New South Wales bureaucracy and banning them from attending. New South Wales Treasury was coming today. New South Wales Treasury had made arrangements to try and come today, and they'd been told by the government that they shouldn't attend. Mike Baird took the idea of asset recycling to the federal government, yet he can't man up and front an inquiry to actually present the case for it. The reality is this: the whole thing is nothing more than a con job. It's nothing more than an ability to get financial incentives to encourage the privatisation of state assets, and privatising New South Wales electricity is bad for Australian workers, it's bad for power prices, and it's going to be bad for the service industry. And the fact that the federal government is trying to kick in a bit of pretend funny money to try and make the whole thing stack up, firstly, is never going to happen, and secondly, is nothing more than voodoo economics and an economic con job. If Mike Baird really believes that Tony Abbott is going to start throwing him money just to see assets privatised, then surely he's the only person left in Australia who still takes Tony Abbott at his word. Mike Baird, we're still here all day. We'll make time for you. Stop being a coward. Your office is 100 metres down the road. Man up and front the inquiry. It's not good enough to go around and demand $2 billion of federal money to try and make your voodoo economics stack up, when you're not even prepared to front the Senate and make the case yourself. Mike Baird took the idea of asset recycling to Canberra, but he won't man up in his own city, in his own state, and make the case. Shame on you, Mike Baird.
First of all, I find it quite disturbing back in Howard's years that $59 billion worth of assets were sold. We can only sell the farm gate off once. Secondly, what I'd like to know is when it comes to the banks and the accountants, how much commission and success fees are going to be made out of this $5 billion and how much that's going to be kicked back into the Liberal Party. Secondly, this $5 billion is bribe money, and that's what it is a bribe to the states. Could be much better spent. So I say this to Joe Hockey. Joe Hockey, you are heading down the same line as Tony Abbott. You are on borrowed time, mate. You are on borrowed time. This is bribe money and it has got to stop. This money could be so much better spent.
Premier Mike Baird has got his tail between his legs and is running away from the people of New South Wales. We're 6 weeks out from an election. He should be fronting up today and talking about his privatisation plans. They want to call it recycling assets. Why do they use that term? They already know privatisation's on the nose. The workers here today know what it means for their jobs. People know what damage it will cause to the environment. This policy is on the nose. He won't front up. He's a coward and he's got his tail between his legs. Not just because of asset recycling, because he wants to distance himself from the increasingly unpopular Prime Minister Tony Abbott. He's got a big problem. At least he should show courage. That's what the voters want. He's got the opportunity today. He should front up. Congratulations to all the workers today, the unions and Unions New South Wales. We need to have that public voice to knock over privatisation. We'll win this publicly, and that's what puts pressure on the politicians.
So let me just endorse the remarks about the Premier. Here's a perfect platform for him to come and defend his privatisation proposals, and yet he has failed to do so. He's out there suggesting that the unions are running a scare campaign. Well, if he believes that, let him come here today and tell us why and how. But he won't, because he knows, in fact, we are running a truth campaign. It's just the fact is, the truth is scary, and the community knows that. When we've been out there talking to the community about Mike Baird's privatisation plans, they get it straight away. They know what privatisation means, be it of our electricity assets, be it of our health system, or be it of our TAFE system. It means three things. First of all, less services, higher prices and a loss of jobs. and the New South Wales community will not cop that. If Mike Baird wants to talk about privatisation, then he should stand up and defend his case, but he's failed to do so. Let me just add my thanks to the workers behind me and the unions behind me for the fantastic job they've done on this campaign today, for turning up today. And when it comes to the door knocking, there's been a tremendous amount of door knocking done by the unions, but a particular thank you to the Electrical Trade Union for the fantastic work they've done as well. Thanks very much.